as we are joined by California Assemblyman Tim Donnelly. Lives in Southern California, mountain community of Twin Peaks, and he has taken his son from a classroom over the new transgender law signed by Governor Brown recently. Hello, Assemblyman. How are you, sir?
Hi, Steve. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm fine. Great to talk to you. Okay, explain for the folks what you did and why you did it.
Well, AB 1266 was passed and signed into law, and I don't know if your listeners are familiar with it, but essentially it is designed to supposedly help students who identify as transgender who are sort of not comfortable in their own skin. The problem is that percentage of people is less than 2%. Some people say it's much less than 1%. And there was a private accommodation that was arranged for them because they're not comfortable in the bathroom or the showers. And so this law would allow them to go into the bathrooms or the showers and also join the sports teams of people of the opposite sex. So you could have a daughter in school and have a teenage boy come in there and take a shower next to her naked. This teenage boy doesn't have to prove anything about that he's been suffering from this intense confusion disorder. That in fact he just tells administrators, yeah, I was feeling confused, and he can walk in there. And now you've violated the privacy rights of 98% of the students. And so this was the final straw for us. We had our kids in private school before. Last year we put them back in public school, and we've had a lot of concerns with a lot of the government indoctrination that they push down. And this seems much more about an agenda than it is anything about really helping reduce bullying among students who identify them as transgender. So I talked to my boys, and they were horrified at the idea of a girl being in the bathroom with them. That was it, or vice versa. They're uncomfortable enough at this age, being undressed in front of somebody of the same sex. It's just that age.
My God, it certainly is. I have a 13-year-old son, so I know exactly what you're talking about. And you're right. It's the rights of 98. I'm sure it's 99% plus of all the students to make an accommodation of sorts for the minute minority. I mean, I just can't imagine that this is what it's come to. I just can't imagine. I mean, they say sometimes as California goes, so goes the rest of the country. I can't imagine that happening in most states, even some of the more liberal ones that might have taken on other liberal issues. I just can't imagine this happening. Now, talk about the fact that the reaction, the reason. To me, this is just another. It's creeping. It's kind of like little by little by little by little to do away with. I mean, wasn't California? Didn't you guys have a proposal somewhere to do away with the terms mom and dad and father and mother and just go almost unisex when it comes to parent A and parent B and get rid of any kind of sexual delineations whatsoever?
Oh, absolutely. There's been an onslaught of bills for the last 20 years reducing and attacking and assaulting the traditional family. This really had nothing to do with that for me. This was very strictly a massive overreach of government power. It's a government intrusion into where the government is forcibly violating the right of privacy. When we drop our kids off at school, we expect that they're going to learn and develop normal relationships, and they're going to be able to get a career and go on and do something in life. Now you've created this massive distraction where you take the natural uncomfortable nature of being a teenager and you multiply it by 10,000 times because you've opened up Pandora's box. Any kid that might be prone toward being a rapist, now he's got the perfect opportunity. Now we're putting them in there. We're dumping fuel on that fire. And by the way, just so that your listeners know that how the legislature really feels about women in bathrooms, in the legislature, in the Capitol building, in the state of California, you, Steve, and I cannot walk into a women's bathroom because they lock the door. And they have a code on there, and only the women get the code, and only a woman can get a code from another woman. So here, they have a double standard. They understand that sexual assaults have occurred in bathrooms when men have followed women in there. But now they're going to let grown teenage boys whose hormones are raging, there's no longer that barrier where a parent or a teacher or a coach can stop you at the girls' door or locker room. You now get to go in there, and you have every right to be there, and you're protected by state law.
Assemblyman Donnelly, one final question here. Does this not also apply to first graders, second graders? I mean, the very, very young?
This applies K through 12. And not only that, but it applies to sports teams. So if you feel like you're a girl today, you can play on the girls' volleyball team. I have no idea what and this is not a liberal issue, by the way. This is a nonpartisan issue all the way. But I know there's a lot of people that fought hard to get Title IX in. So I think we're going to open up our state to federal lawsuits, and we're going to have lawsuits from parents. There's an unending amount of bad that is going to come out of this, and it is going to be a massive distraction from the goal of learning.
Yeah, I can't see how it could be any other thing, to be honest with you. And there's no chance of turning this around, correct?
Well, I'll tell you what. There has already been a referendum filed. In California, a referendum repeals a bill, repeals a law. And this doesn't go into effect until January 1st of 2014. So it is quite possible that we could gather the 500,000 valid signatures required. There's a tremendous amount of outrage. Everybody in California is talking about this bill today.
All right. Assemblyman, I thank you, and I wish you luck, and good luck with your kids, sir.
Thanks for having me on, Steve.
My pleasure. Assemblyman Tim Donnelly from California talking about